Hello and welcome to the Community Voice. I'm Fara Sax. Since 1988, Florida Prepay has helped over 1.2 million families save for college, making it the nation's largest and longest running program in the world, or at least in the nation. Today, I'm joined by two families who have benefited: Florida Prepay spokesperson Ann Fonce and financial planner Frank Murillo. Thank you both for joining me and for educating us and spreading the love and the joy of open enrollment, let's sort of speak. What's going on? Tell me the great news and welcome to the Community Voice.
Thank
Thank you so much.
you. Thanks, Farah. It's very nice to be here.
This is your second rodeo with me,
Second
right?
rodeo. Here
I
we
love it.
go.
Hey, let's hit it.
So Florida Prepaid, we have our open enrollment time frame right now. So it's the one time of year where families can lock in the future cost of college for their kids. It's from February 1st till April 30th. So families have about 7 weeks to enroll in a plan this year.
Tell me more about that. Tell me about the programs that are available and why it was important for you to step into it yourself as a mom.
Yes, definitely. So for those not familiar, Florida Prepaid offers a prepaid plan where you can lock in the future cost of college for your kids. So save now for them to use later, which is amazing. Just pay in small increments or payments or a lump sum, and then they have that waiting for them when they're ready to go to college. We also have a 529 savings plan where you can invest what you want when you want, and that can be used for different educational expenses such as, a laptop, books, and so on. The open enrollment timeframe is really for that prepaid plan. That's actually what I have for my kids, for my 4-year-old son and my 2-year-old daughter.
And that we have pictures of your beautiful family. So
Oh,
I'm going to
yes.
show it. Oh my God, it makes me. No, that's Frank's.
That's mine.
There
That's
she is,
his little
and
dude. Yes, so I actually have prepaid plans for my children, the 4-year-old and the 2-year-old. And the really exciting thing about this year, which is why we wanted to let parents know, is this year we're offering incredibly low prices, but a special incentive for parents of babies. So if you have a little baby out there,
you mean a little baby that says already college material? Oh, that. And then here's the website that you can talk us through, please.
definitely. So right now we're offering the lowest prices starting at just $29 a month for babies.
That's it?
That's it.
So you mean the moment that they arrive into the world, the parent can just.
Sign them up for a plan, which I know it sounds kind of wild. Your hands are very full when you have a baby. You're, in diaper world, feeding them, learning about parenthood. But that's really the time to start saving. And we really want to incentivize families. So this year, we made this really great program for them where they can just sign up for $29 a month, which any family can do. You can budget that within your expenses, and it helps them save so that when that little baby, which it goes by faster than you think, is ready to walk down the stage at their high school graduation and looking at higher education, that plan is ready and ready for them to start.
Talk a little bit about what the plan includes and how. Let's walk me through and the audience through how the mechanics of that works.
Sure. So you're essentially prepaying the cost of college, right, at lower prices because you're starting off.
So it locks
today.
in today's prices for when 18 years later,
It
a
locks
child.
in the future cost, what they're
Mhm.
projecting the future
Mhm.
cost of college to be, which keeps, going up usually. But you're locking it in at a lower price. Prepaying it, they're helping you save. And the great thing about Florida Prepaid is, first off, it's secure. Your money is guaranteed to be there. They tell you what it will cost and help you plan and save for that now. And it's very flexible. So let's say your little baby gets a scholarship, or they get, half scholarship, or they go out of state, or they go to trade school or vocational school or technical school. This plan works for all of that. You don't know what they're going to be, but it can work across all different private, public, in-state, out-of-state, trade, vocational, or if they get a scholarship, you could even transfer that plan to a sibling or get your money back.
And one of the caveats is either the grandparents have, it could be the grandparents can be Florida State residents and the children do not need to be.
It's a benefit of being a resident of Florida. So to have a plan, you either the child has to be a resident currently when you're purchasing the plan, or the person purchasing the plan needs to be a resident of Florida. If you purchase the plan and then you leave the state, that plan still goes with you and you could still contribute to it and carry it on. But while you are purchasing the plan, you either have to be the student has to be a resident, the child, or the person purchasing it.
And what is it included? Dormitory, books, tuition. Talk about the little components of what includes in that Florida prepay payment.
Sure.
Every month it is.
So the prepaid plan, the one that's during now, open enrollment, that pays tuition and fees for most universities and colleges that you're contributing to. Our 529 savings plan can be used in different ways for different expenses. So educational fees such as books, computers. We also have a dorm plan that you could purchase as well. Because as you can imagine, living expenses are pretty high, whether you're in Miami, or somewhere else. So you can actually purchase a dorm plan for them, prepay it now, and have it waiting for them. So those are the three main types of plans that we offer.
And do you have to buy the 4-year total? Do you have to buy 4 years of tuition, 4 years of fees, 4 years of dormitory?
Such a good plan. Such a good question, because I think a lot of people don't realize that we have a lot of different types of plans. I had the 4-year university plan. That's what my parents purchased for me. That's the one most people know about, but there's so many different options. The 1-year university plan right now for the newborns is $29. So that's just starting with 1 year. You can choose to add on another year later on if you'd like. But we also have a 2-year college and 2-year university, the 1-year dorm plan. There's a lot of different options. So that's why I say you can make it work for within your budget to just start somewhere.
And do people have to move forward, or what if they say, yeah, my kid got into blah blah school? Is it only for Florida State schools?
It's not. So let's say your kid gets into an out-of-state school and
So
they
this
decide,
is a newer component of the Florida prepaid, which
Yes.
wasn't available from dinosaur years.
dinosaurs. It's Florida prepaid. It's built for Florida schools. So what you're contributing to and what you're planning for is a traditional Florida college or university. However, it can be used out of state, can be used at private institutions. It will pay the same dollar value as a credit there. So a Harvard, credit might cost a little bit more than a public university in-state credit, but the dollar for dollar value is the same.
And what is a tuition? I'm glad we're both sitting down, all three of us. What is the average state school tuition currently?
I actually don't know the exact cost. I'll have to get back to you as like a traditional 4-year public university. If you go on our website, they actually have all of the information of like what it's built for the traditional public universities 4-year schools, and it'll show you what in lump sum you would be paying right now for that.
I'm
College.
sure that it's going to be a huge lump sum 18 years down the road
Right.
versus locking in the Florida prepay now.
Right.
So in walks Frank. Frank is a financial planner. He's also a family member, bought this for his son, up and coming. Talk to me about why it was important for you to invest in the prepaid program.
So a big part of that was being able to practice what you preach. In my profession, you are always looking at different expenses. The big ticket item is retirement, obviously. And what people don't realize is planning for college is almost like a mini version of that planning for retirement landscape, right? The only difference is you typically have 18 years to do that, where you may work for 3-4 decades, right? Or longer in some cases. So it was always important for me because I did not want that to be something that I think about as I'm planning for my own retirement. I wanted that weight off my shoulders, so to speak. Also being able to just relate to my clients on that level. If I'm offering this advice to them throughout my practice, I should be doing this as well. So that was the two main things. And obviously we value education in the household. It was something that was instilled in me growing up. And that's something I want to instill into my son as he gets older and decides what he wants to do and what career path he wants to take.
And I find that fascinating because you are a financial advisor,
Mhm.
and financial advisors expect to be in, investing somewhere.
Yeah.
And with the Florida prepay, it's not something that they make interest on. You don't amortize your money. Why is it important that you decided to do this? I understand for relatability, but financially, why did you do that?
So to give you an example, right now, I mean, there's very few things that are known in the future, right? There's been talks of inflation over the past few years. Right now, there's a lot of talk about the price of eggs, and that can be kind of a joke, but things are getting more expensive. Historically, our dollar will be worth less in the future. This was just a nice way of encapsulating and really capturing the cost of education in today's dollars, knowing the lump sum, knowing that I'll be done paying at a future date, at a future point in time. So having control over that was very important for me, regardless of what other investments and how other investments may perform and what else I could do with the money. Just having that peace of mind and having that weight off my shoulder was just very important for me and my wife.
And my husband and I, too, we participated in the Florida prepay as well. And it was, again, that peace of mind knowing that we had something locked in, it was a known. And if we did or we didn't use it, we already knew that we had it. So, again, one less thing to think about. What do you say to folks that are now, their kid is 14, 15, and they go, oh my gosh, they're watching this broadcast. If you're watching this broadcast, is it too late? What happens now? How can we participate? Because again, the unknowns, uncharted waters that we're in right now. What would your advice be to them?
I would definitely, I'm sure you have some advice as well. I think start anything is better than nothing, right? Even if you didn't start when they were a newborn little baby. If they're still middle school, early high school, you can look and see what the options are available on myfloridaprepaid.com, and see what it looks like for them to do a 529 savings plan, or, maybe a 1 year. Um, but anything is better than nothing, because, like you said, everything changes by the year here. So the earlier you can start saving and give yourself that runway, the better. But it's, even if you didn't do it yet, still encourage you to go online and check it out and see what your options are to have that ready, because like we said, it's very expensive. It's like buying a massive car with the payments and what's changing. So it's, the more you can kind of like save ahead and have it ready with today's dollar, the better off you're going to be in a few years, whether your child's 14 or 10 or 6 months.
And what would you say to the families that are hesitant about participating now? As a financial planner, as a
Um,
father, as a husband?
I'd be curious to know what the hesitation is. I mean, either what what is the downside of, number one, providing education for your family or somebody you care for? And when I say family, it's because it's flexible, right? It could be a grandparent purchasing for a grandkid. It could be an uncle purchasing for their niece or nephew. So it's very flexible as to who can purchase this plan. I don't really understand the hesitation or what the hesitation would be. The other side of the coin is either not doing it or waiting too late to do it. So the earlier you start, like almost anything in life, the earlier you start, the better, and the
Mhm.
more that you can kind of set away or set aside for different goals in life aside from education.
And I think that's what people don't really understand, that you could. I mean, at least I didn't a few years ago
Hmm.
before I had my kid. I thought it was like one set fee. It's
Yeah,
like everyone pays
Mhm.
this. And it's like, no, it really does work within your budget. So it's
yeah.
kind of like, okay, we have this pricing calculator on our website, and you can kind of go on there, look at your kid's age, and there's a bunch of different options.
Hmm.
It's not like, okay, no, you have to be able to pay this amount of money to buy the plan. No, you can buy a 1 year plan, or no, you can buy, maybe just do a dorm plan, or maybe just do a 529 savings, but you can do something. There's something, I promise you, within your budget that you can contribute, and you will not regret it. I haven't met any families or
Yeah.
parents, that have been like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have done that. You know what they usually tell me? I wish I would have done more, or I wish I would have done the dorm plan and the prepaid plan, because now I have the prepaid plan and I have to pay for my kids' dorm. And
Yeah.
it's still, you think when they get out of the house, it's going to be cheaper, and it's not.
No,
And one thing I'll add to that, there is a nice little link on the website where you can actually essentially crowdfund the prepaid system, right? So if you have an upcoming birthday or some type of graduation ceremony, instead of getting more toys, which I know my son doesn't need more of, and just
Really? The kids, yours is 4. You don't need any more
it's
toys?
just so much clutter.
Do you want your house to look like a preschool?
Exactly. I want it to look like an adult home, but
Forget about it. You don't have that until he leaves at 18.
but yeah, you can essentially ask and kind of send this link to the invitees of your party, and they can contribute, and whatever they were going to put towards a toy, they can put towards a plan and help you pay down that.
You know, a lot of my friends are doing that now. So they're opening like their plan and then they put the link. You know how it's very popular with baby showers now? Bring the books instead of the cards. Save the trees. So now they're like, okay, contribute. You can buy a toy for them, or contribute to their education, which is so cool. I need to start doing that.
Yeah.
It's such a great idea.
What did you invest in? Which plan did you go for?
I did the 4-year university plan.
Mm-hmm. And what is your monthly payments?
141, I want to say.
141. That's like probably about 10 cups of high-end coffee. No, think about that. Think about how much.
You're right.
I mean, what a waste.
Well, I mean,
you enjoy
or your cable bill or your
So it's really
sometimes your
affordable.
FPL bill.
going out to eat a couple times a month, like that's
Where do you go?
I was like, when I go out to eat
these
with my
days
husband now,
it's up there, right? I mean, it's really getting
Lunch is
more expensive, to my
$50.
point. So yeah.
for 2 people.
So depending on where you go, I mean, it's going out to eat a few times less per month.
And I love that idea of where if you're having a birthday party or a graduation or some kind of celebratory experience, instead of bringing the toy, bring the checkbook, or you really it whatever that is. It makes so much sense to donate to that because it's for our child's future.
It's such a great gift you can give someone. I mean, education is something no one could ever take away from them. We know the facts. Like we know that when you get educated, when you have higher education, you're going to most likely have a bigger salary, be able to be more competitive for certain jobs.
We talk about that. There's that study that you shared with me earlier about post graduation that you will need a secondary degree.
Right. It's a Georgetown University study that we shared. You know, we can share for more information, you know, with the viewers after this. But basically showing that it's still very needed to have a higher education degree to guarantee that you can be, you know, more competitive for jobs and that you can secure a job. It's still, yes, some people don't go to college, and Florida Prepaid can still be used for the trade and vocational.
And I think that's really important because you have to know, you know, where your skill set is.
Right.
But you have addressed that with the Florida Prepaid.
Right. It's very flexible. So no matter what, you know, your kid's going to need something, right? Some sort of skill set based on whatever their strengths are, what they're passionate about or go into. But this can be used for anything in that way. And then again, if it's not, you get your money back.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that also had the plan and maybe their kid got a scholarship or decided to do something else and maybe they saved it for them. And then when they went back for their master's or for higher education later, used it then. So it's very flexible, much more flexible than people probably understand it is, which is one of the main reasons we decided to get it for our child. Very much like you said, we wanted to have that security and really relieve the financial stress and burden later on by just saving a little bit now. But we also didn't know what they wanted to be, and we wanted to ensure we had something like ready for them. And these are flexible and can be used in different ways. So it was the right choice for us, like as a family for both of our kids.
And you have little kids, 4 and 2, and you have a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
That's a great way to start their lives.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think about it then, because you're kind of they're not even in preschool yet, or they're just starting preschool. And you're talking about college.
You're going to remember
with
this.
your
You're going to remember
spouse.
this picture and go, "Oh my God, I remember when my baby Murillo was."
I can't wait to recreate that picture when he's older. But no.
Yeah, pick them up.
And you too, Anne. Look at that. That's smiling faces. That's so sweet. That's
Very
so
handful.
sweet.
It's wild to think what they're going to be, and you know, I don't really know what
Yeah.
each of them are going to be in the future, but at least I know no matter what happens to me, you know, or my husband, or we have that ready for them when they do get to that point. And I was just a product of that. I saw how amazing it was. Student loan debt is crazy.
And you went to a private high school.
I went to a private high school. I went to a public university in college. So I've kind of seen the benefits of all certain things. My parents had to, they paid for my education privately while they were funding my prepaid plan. But I reaped the benefits of that after, and so did they. It was such a stress reliever when we had that ready for me, and I was worrying about where I was going to live and what I was going to study, not how I was going to be able to pay for it.
Absolutely. And if we don't use the plan,
You're in trouble.
if you don't use the plan, talk about how much time they're allowed, or the benefit of the program. Is there a time frame?
There is. You have about 10 years after, you graduate high school that you can use it, which is a pretty large
That's a
amount of
long
time.
runway.
It's a long runway, so lots of things can happen within that decade. And then if you don't use it, you could transfer it to a sibling. You could, maybe if you don't use all of it, you get the refund. You never lose your money. You could also get your money back, right? If your child decides they are not going to use it, or if they don't need it. So
And
lots of options.
And then what would you say to those folks that for financial planning? What would you say to them if they don't use it? What's the next steps?
Well, I would say it's hard to say that they won't use it, 'cause I think nowadays, especially, it's not unusual to take a gap year or go on to a secondary or third degree, right? So maybe they're not using it right now. Maybe they might use it in the future. But if it goes unused, maybe look at really, other than getting your money back, if should you need it, seeing if there's anybody else in the family who could benefit, right? Because I think in my point of view, it's kind of probably the best type of inheritance you can leave somebody is the value of education, because you can leave them money, they can squander it, or you can leave them education to get a good career, be gainfully employed, so they can make their own living. So, I would really say just see if there's anybody else in your circle who can use the benefit, hopefully, or get the money back.
Absolutely. And any other ins and outs with the two plans? I know that open enrollment is now until the end of April. Anything you want to share with our audience about that?
I would just encourage, if you're listening and it's been on your list, it was on my list for a while. When we first had our first kid, it was like, you're really busy. You're not thinking about college or thinking about
But you did it.
survival and sleeping. It was on the top of our list for like probably a few months. And then we sat down one day just as a family and kind of just like looked through the options, and then realized it just felt daunting at first. But then when we just looked at it, we were like, we could do this. Let's just pick one. We're going to do this one for our son. Then when our daughter came along, it was a lot easier. We knew we were doing it. I mean, we were like out of the hospital, and it was within those first few weeks.
And it's really easy. It's easy.
Yep.
It's an
Easy to sign up.
Let's go. Let's show it again.
15 minutes.
Show again the
Go on the website.
show the website and how to navigate a little bit, and just show our audience what it
Right.
might look like. There it is.
Come here. Oh, look at that cute baby.
She's delicious.
So again, if you have a baby, a newborn, if you're a new grandparent for the first time, like the baby incentive is incredible this year. Along with all other parents, open enrollment, please consider, if you don't have one, a prepaid plan. But if you do have a baby, a newborn that was born within the past, year or so, definitely check it out, because $29 is really hard to beat. And once you lock in the prices, it'll never go up.
And there's no enrollment fee right
There's
now.
no
You're waivering
enrollment
that as
fee.
well.
There's
So
no
that's another
enrollment fee.
savings.
So it's just, you could do that. I mean, you probably pay for streaming services or, something within your
Coffee.
coffee expenses that might be larger than that per month. So I would definitely encourage you, just start, somewhere, go online, see what savings works best for you in the plan. But have the conversation, make the time. You will not regret it.
MyFloridaPrepaid.com. And the time also, one closing remark, Frank, that you would like to add to our conversation that maybe we didn't cover. All right, thanks. All right, that's it.
Yeah, covered it all. No, really, honestly, just don't wait. Don't wait. I was going to add a little funny little tidbit. I actually messed up, and my son was born in February, drunk with the whole baby and late night, not
No
getting any
way.
sleep. I missed open enrollment, so I had to wait till the following year because of that. So don't wait.
A lot of people do that, actually.
Yeah.
We always have a people that very Miami time.
Yeah.
They come in like the week after open enrollment, like that first week in May, and then it's fine. You could still go on the website. You should still do it, because then you won't regret it.
I believe
or-
you can still sign up.
You sign up, it just you're locked in for like the next year,
Correct,
or like you
correct.
get those prices next year. So really do it before April 30th.
Well,
because-
I'm ashamed because I did it when they entered high school. I woke up and I go, "Oh my gosh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do for
but you
our
did
kids?"
it.
But
You
we
could still
did it.
do it. You could still do it when they're
It
in high
doesn't matter
school.
the time frame.
Mhm.
Just get it done, and if you know that, just
They
it
have to be
secures the future for your
416.
kid.
Definitely.
Well, thank you so much. I
Thank
appreciate you
you.
guys being here, and may your kids grow up to be, I don't know, whatever you want them to be, whatever they want to be,
Whatever they
happy
wanna
and
be.
healthy.
Whatever they want to be.
Healthy and happy, but it is available, myfloridaprepaid.com. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you for joining me. I'm Fara Sax. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Have a beautiful